Hey boys and girls, we're here again with Mike Matei and we're looking at Transformers.
More than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battles to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. And right here you have
Devastator.
One of the craziest Decepticons of all time. And what's awesome about this is the real Devastator. This is not that Michael Bay stuff where he looks like a pile of junk. This is what you think of when you think of Devastator. He's lean, he's mean, he's green, he's a fighting machine, raw, and he's awesome. And little story about Devastator. First time I ever met James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, first conversation we ever had was about Devastator. This has all different pieces. It's a combiner. This is different construction vehicles that all form together to create the ultimate fighting robot that has to fight against the Autobots. And speaking of Autobots, let's talk about the leader of the Autobots, Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime is a truck, a trailer truck, and he is the leader of the Autobots. And this toy is amazing. Just like I was talking about before with He-Man, Optimus Prime is one of the icons, biggest figures of the 1980s. This is one of the most classic, awesome toys ever made. And they've made a lot of remakes over the years. They have the Masterpiece figures, which are cool. But this is an original G1 1980s Optimus Prime, and it holds up today. Can't go wrong with Optimus Prime.
And it was really great because it wasn't just the truck toy. It also came with the trailer, with the whole base, with roller, with everything. You could actually drive the other Transformers up in the back.
I do have all that stuff too, but it's in my closet. So, and then of course,
this scary guy right here.
Yeah, we got to talk about the nemesis of Optimus Prime. This is Megatron. He doesn't look quite like he does on the TV show. He's a bit of a mess, but you know what? Back in the early 80s, I loved this toy. I loved it because, quite frankly, when it was in the package, it looked like a gun, and it was cool. And this thing is heavy. He is a heavy, heavy action figure, and he is a bit of a mess. I mean, his body's a little weird, and he's got a little trigger between his legs right there going on. But he's still pretty cool. I don't know. He's not my favorite. He's a pretty ugly. You know, even for early 1980s Transformers figures, he's one of the uglier ones. He's a bit of a mess. I think they had a hard time turning a gun into a transformable figure back then or something, because all the other figures looked a lot better. Like the plane figures all looked awesome. Like when this transforms into a plane, this is Starscream. When this transforms into the plane, it looks like a plane. And right here in this mode, in robot mode, it actually looks awesome. Megatron's robot mode is ugly. Sorry. Love this toy. It's great. It's nostalgic, but it's not a very nice looking toy. This, however, is awesome. This is one of the most nicely designed G1 Transformer figures. Really love Starscream. Let's talk about my favorite Transformer figure of all time. And unfortunately, I don't have the cassette tapes on me right now, but this guy came with a lot of cassette tapes. This was, of course, Soundwave.
Operation Interference Interception.
That's a line of his from Transformers the movie.
Will this open? Coming up on 30 years old.
Yeah, I'm lucky to even have this, let alone, at least that opens. That still opens. I don't know that this is the most beautiful figure, because now that looking at him, honestly, I think this is actually a better looking figure than Soundwave, but I think the reason that most people like this so much is because of the character. The character on the show is just awesome, so I think that's why people like him so much. He could transform into a cassette player, and then you could actually clip that onto your belt and go around with him and try to act cool with your fake, like, cassette player. Do kids today even know what a cassette player is? Everybody's got like an iPhone and iTunes. No wonder they turned it into a satellite dish in the new movies. Jeez. Well, let's go take a look at all the other Transformers figures in the other room. Come on. Well, boys and girls, just like a Transformer, I've transformed into a different shirt. And here we are in the other room, and we're going to check out all these Transformers. Aren't they cool? Well, who do we have here? We have Grimlock. And he's awesome because he's a Dinobot. Roar! Oh, what a failure. His mouth didn't open. There we go. Roar! Blur, yeah, let's talk about Blur. He moved really fast because he was a fast Transformer.
Cup was like this grizzled old sergeant that always had a story. Everything was always about something else.
Right.
He'd always be like, I remember when I was at Delta Prime.
I just think that is a beautiful Transformer toy. I mean, look at that. The colors, the red and the blue, and the way it is designed. This is a beautiful toy. Of course, you have Bumblebee. Very cool. Bumblebee was one of the main characters on the show and in the movies.
Over here, Cosmos and Pipes, another of the smaller guys.
You got Hot Rod right here. Ratchet and Ironhide. And they were always a little weird to me because, like, where are their faces? I guess their faces are, like, painted on there. Or, I mean, there's, like, a little sticker that has his face. But it's kind of like their heads should have been on there. I don't know. These are kind of worries. Even as a kid, I'm not, like, critiquing them, like, now. Like, when I was a kid, I was, like, I thought that these were kind of cheaper. But at least they were metal. I was always more of a fan of the metal figures than the plastic ones. He is a really cool figure. I think he's only in a few episodes of the actual show, and I think in the show he goes by the name Skyfire, but the toy is Jetfire, but it's the same guy, essentially. Mm-hmm. I have more Decepticons over on this side. We have the Insecticons here. Cyclonus, character from the movie. I'm not he might have been in the episodes like later on after the movie, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but season 3.
Yeah, of course you have, rest in peace, Leonard Nimoy, who recently passed away, who played Mr. Spock on Star Trek, the original series, who did the voice of Galvatron. This is Galvatron. Now, earlier we looked at Megatron, who was the gun figure. Megatron, if you watch Transformers the movie from 1986, Megatron turns into, eventually, reborn as Galvatron. Here you go, right here. This is Shockwave. This is one of the best Transformer figures you can ever possibly have. I mean, this character, he defines cool. He is just an awesome villain. Scourge, the Tracker. That's Blaster. He's really cool. I just wanted to take him out because he's been sitting back there for probably a year or something. I need to get Reflector. He's a big one that's on my list to get yet. So I don't have all the Transformers G1's figures, but I've got quite a few of them. And yeah, they're great. They were great toys. They bring back a lot of memories. And I'm 34 years old now, and I'm not sitting around playing with these toys anymore. But just to have them in my room, and every once in a while I can look up at them and think, yeah, those were the days when Transformers were the way that I remember them from when I was a kid.